Hi, welcome back to another episode of Chris Dyer's Creative Friends, the super awesome podcast show where me, your artist friend Chris Dyer, talks to all his amazing creative friends. Today I'm in Wynwood, Miami. It's Basel time, and I'm at the Wynwood Walls, this street art museum, to talk with Chaz from the London Police, who's a really special individual. We talk about so many amazing things, from street art to graffiti to the scene to what's happening here and its beautiful art. I think you will enjoy this conversation. Blessings!
While the world is burning, got to make amends. Walk on the sunny side with a positive lens. Talks about passion between the women and the men. Chris Dyer and his creative friends, darling. Ooh, 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 ooh.
I had seen that Fatboy Slim had done a print with you on your Instagram, and I was going to ask you about it. So while we're waiting for his interview, for him to just show up and hang out with him, and then he's painting on your mural, and then we're taking pictures, and then we're dancing together, like.
Yeah, he's become a real good friend.
Yeah.
Just because he loves the art scene, and we obviously, love what he does. How can you not love someone who's been involved in music their whole life, and whether or not it's your preferred taste in music.
Right.
I think everyone's preferred taste in human beings is someone who's down to earth and honest and friendly and funny, and he's
real.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
but he's from an era where like the whole world would have, or most would have, liked his music.
oh yeah, back in the 90s, early 2000s, it was if you didn't know, right here, right now, right, and because it was the MTV days as well, wasn't it? Where that was.
We're more connected. Now that with social media, everybody's splintered into a million branches, which is fine. You can find your own unique little subculture, but I don't even know it exists, and vice versa. While that, we all could be united like, oh, you like Fatboy Slim too? Cool. We're all like
It was the time
family.
of albums as well, wasn't it? Remember when you looked forward to a new album coming out, and you went to the shops and you bought it. Back in those days, it was obviously the LP or the CD. And used to listen from beginning to end. I mean, go back even further to cassettes.
Right.
The album belonged together, and like that album, what was it? I'm Number One, So Why Try Harder.
Yeah, they were funny too.
It's of the era. You can say that about like Manu Chao or Portishead or many of these Massive Attack. When they came out, it was a part of time in your life that was representative of that time and age. So yeah, no, it was really great to know Norman. He's a good boy.
And he came here to open up the group exhibition you're having here at Wynwood Walls.
Yeah, the group exhibition at Wynwood Walls is, a special occasion. It's a special night where all the art and artists, past and present, are celebrated. And Norman loves this scene. So I said to him, would you like me to ask if you can DJ here? Because he loves it and he loves the scene. And he arranged a few other gigs in Miami this week so he could do this in his own spare time. So I don't think he even got paid or anything,
Really?
He's done a few secret gigs for me as well in my hometown. We've got this venue called the Hot Box, really wonderful old school music venue. There's not many of them left. These days are all sanitised and commercial and very much.
That's in England or in Amsterdam?
Chelmsford in Essex in England. And I was part of a art festival there where we tried to get this kind of vibe going in my hometown. I haven't lived there for years, but it's still dear to me. And he came and did a secret gig in front of 70 people.
Wow.
Yeah, can you imagine? For no money at all, just came down and did it.
But that's the real, like, you would imagine that, like, if you started from, like, the roots of the 90s, and then you blew up, and then it becomes a thing that kind of, like, you get disconnected with your audience, it must be nice to do small gigs for just a few people where you can see their faces and connect better.
Well, you saw what he did just then.
Yeah.
We just made a little message to a student who wanted to thank his teacher. She was a fan of the London Police, so he wrote to me on Instagram saying, any chance you could just make a little video message?
His school teacher?
Yeah, saying goodbye, thanks for what you did, and good luck on a new move. So, some people say, oh, Norman, would you mind being in it as Fatboy Slim? He knows who he is, he knows what power he has, and he's more than happy to use that to make people happy. He
Well,
do- he
what's the
doesn't-
best thing you can do with your
Yeah,
art?
absolutely.
Yeah.
He's aware of his power. When I'm hanging around with him, obviously in certain scenes and areas, everyone knows who he is and they all want a photo. He'll never say no to a photo. He'll always give the people time. You know, and someone like that, Shepherd Fairey's like that as well. You know, like art superstar, but somehow always, be at his own show, kids coming up to him, want him to talk, and he'll always give people time. And I find that one of the best human qualities that there is, to know your place, but to know when you can use it as well.
Right, and not get all arrogant or like, oh, I'm big now, so don't touch me because I'm above you. That
yeah.
division, separation that sometimes humans can do.
Yeah, exactly. No, I've met some of my, you know, say, I use the term lightly, heroes and idols in pop and different things, and most of the time they're really good, nice people, because I don't think you get there if you've got a bad attitude. But occasionally you meet some of them and they haven't got the time of day for you. And particularly, I won't name who it was, but we met someone one time, all they had to do was like, for 10, 15 seconds, just go, oh, thanks for coming to the show, hope you enjoyed it, it's nice to meet
This is
you.
a visual artist?
A
musician?
singer, famous singer.
Okay.
Yeah, and she was just so rude. And it was like, damn, the power you had just then to give us 15 seconds of your time and say a positive sentence, and we would have left going, oh my God, that was so cool.
Right.
And in the end, we're like, oh, well, fuck her then.
Burst
You know, like,
bubbles that could have like expanded into flowers into people's lives.
Yeah, it's a gift to have that success and fame. You can use it to such good, you know, ways. Like, why would you, I don't know, be pissed off about it? Cheers, brother.
Salud.
Anyway, all we can do personally is use that experience and say, well, if someone, I mean, we're not particularly famous, but in the art world, some people like London Police.
I would say that in the street art world, you guys are like the top echelon.
In the street art world, perhaps we have a certain more degree of fame. But my point is, if someone comes to me, I remember all those times that I was that person going to someone who I wanted to talk to, and I try and be the person I would have wanted that person to be, you know?
Well, the thing about like street artists is that if you're a true street artist, you started in the streets and you're just a street art doing shit in a back alleyway just because you had to, and fuck the fame, fuck the cool.
Yeah.
You're just doing it, and all of a sudden street art becomes relevant and you guys are, you know, magnified and become superstars, and there's this big museum of street art in Miami with budgets and cameras and etc. And what are you gonna do with that? Turn into some prick that doesn't give a shit, or empower those street arts that are looking up to you?
I think so. I think that's exactly the way to do it. However, what I will say, the disclaimer is, oh, we'll wait. We hear this 10 times a day.
Oh,
Is
no.
this messing with the sound? Because we got the mics, we're okay, huh? Yeah.
Like, or we could just let her talk so she can explain what the
Just
Wynwood
explain it.
Walls
I can
is.
tell you what it says. The
Okay.
Wynwood Walls.
What is the Wynwood Walls? Where are we? Like, what is this place?
Well, let me finish the point.
Yeah.
My disclaimer with the famous thing is that I do understand if you are so famous that the goalposts may change. It must be so hard if you really are so famous that you've got it coming at you all the time, everywhere you go.
You almost got to push people out because
Well, they
you
employ
need
people,
space
yeah.
to breathe.
They employ people, don't they, to be the walls of Jericho around them. Like, you can't get to them. They always say that, is it Dave Grohl from Nirvana? They always say, oh, he's the nicest guy in rock.
Yeah.
But you can't get to the fucker because he'll get for like 10 bodyguards who aren't the nicest guys. and
Right.
They'll stop you and stuff
They
like that.
can be the jerks.
Well, that in the end, yeah, you employ people to be the jerks, I guess, so that you don't have to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be hard. So I'm not calling out people who are
No,
famous,
like
I guess.
but it's totally understandable. You couldn't walk 2 steps.
Yeah.
You got to get to the bathroom eventually, you know?
Exactly. Anyway, Wynwood Walls, your question about Wynwood Walls. When I first came to Miami, it was 2006, and a guy called Brooks Bischoff, and I think it was Logan Hicks who was involved with it as well. They brought in like 7 or 8 of us. And there was David Chow, there was Logan Hicks, there was me, there was Jim Darling, Daryl Pierce. I think Gallo was here the first year, I'm not sure, but a bunch of us came to this area in Wynwood, and there was nothing here. It was an industrial district. The only place was Joey's. The only restaurant was Joey's, still there today. And for the rest, after dark, it was a Michael Jackson Thriller video, you know, just creatures walking about. It was dangerous.
It was super ghetto
There was
here.
a Hall of Fame down by the freeway there. And you had to be careful if you went down there, be very careful to go and see the art. But since 2006, or 17 years ago, obviously exponentially, year by year, the whole place has grown. And I think 2009 was the first opening of the Wynwood Walls. And it wasn't even this bit yet, it was just that front bit. I think it was the likes of Osgemios, Shepherd Ferry, Futura, Jeffrey Deitch, he curated it through Tony Goldman, which is Jessica Goldman's dad.
Yeah.
Sadly, we lost Tony a few years back. He passed. But Jessica took the reins.
Yeah.
And she has just done amazing things with this place.
Is she cool? Is she cool?
She's totally cool.
Yeah, because I see her in magazines and it's weird, you know, like...
Yeah, there's a little bit of that going on, but
Yeah.
what I would say is she's an impressive woman.
Uh-huh. She's using her
impressive.
power for positive creative
Yeah, but
things.
she's got a lot of confidence in her ability. She seems powerful. She is creating a lot of work and jobs for a lot of people out there. I mean, people can look at the whole realty game, and you could talk about gentrification, and I do resonate with some of the points people make about, oh, that place is now, it's all about money and all the real people had to move out. Yeah, no, there's some of that, I agree, but then think about some of the people who lived here with properties that suddenly tripled, quadrupled in value and set them up for life, just because all this sort of stuff started to come in. And it's the nature of the world, really. So
Right.
in
The
some
people who held their houses this long,
oh,
they can just sell it for $1 million now.
absolutely, and they're made for life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've enjoyed seeing the place turn around, because for all those people who said, oh, it's not the same, it's gentrified. Man, you didn't want to be here in 2006, 7. It wasn't
I came
pretty.
in 2011 and it was pretty dangerous to paint the walls. Like, they painted our wall, let's get back at them. And all the murals would get destroyed quite quickly, too.
I want to give a big shout out to the Miami locals, because although there is some, you know, disgruntlement here and there, and all these big fishes coming into their town and international artists, the Miami locals have always been so good to everyone. I mean, there's been little bits and bobs of beef, and you know that's normal, but they've embraced the whole scene, and they are the true spirit of Miami. You know,
Yeah.
the likes of Atomico, likes of Hox, the
Yeah.
likes of Abstract.
Uh-huh.
You know, all these other guys and the hardcore boys on the streets. We stand on their shoulders, and thanks to them, they allow this to happen in their place, kind of thing. So
Right.
I think it's also relevant to have. You can't have something like this without having a strong local scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they're great. I love all you mentioned. And hopefully, because the whole world scene has come here to see everything, they've gotten a good spotlight, and now they're worldwide known artists.
I hope so too, yeah, I hope so too. I mean, I remember Atomico, one of my favourites. I mean, the guy's relentless. When you meet him, he's the sweetest dude.
Uh-huh.
He draws those little he draws his oranges, he writes his tags everywhere.
It's fucking everywhere.
I remember one time, I had to go to, I can't remember why, I had to go to some hardware store, pick up something, and it was way north. We were up in the 120s, 130s. We were nowhere near here. And I remember getting, the car parked in the car park. I got out and there was just a bollard here, Atomico written down the bollard. I was like, man, the guy's been every nook and cranny.
I've been to Cuba and he was everywhere there.
But, well,
I've been to fucking Portugal. He was up
where
there.
he goes, he's up everywhere. The true spirit of the scene, basically.
Yeah.
But there's loads of them. I mean, Hox.
He's like up there, like he's not in the museum, but he's got some
was, yeah.
oranges above the mural.
It's faded now, but yeah, that he was in the walls like for ages.
Yeah. Is that like officially the walls, or he just bombed illegally?
Oh, he bombed it, yeah.
Yeah, which
absolutely.
is like, you know, more the vibes.
I think that's okay. That's the
Yeah,
way.
no,
That's the way
well,
it should.
it's like
it
this
has-
comes from graffiti roots.
Exactly
hopefully,
that.
and you can't disrespect that, you know?
You've got to remember those.
Yeah.
You absolutely do. And as for the streets outside here, I mean, bomb the hell. You know,
Yeah.
like throwies, tags, stickers, posters hitting the floor, they're hitting the posts. I mean,
It's madness.
if you're into this scene, it's a magical place.
Yeah.
And a little shout out also to the authorities, who I think I can't say for sure, but I think they're made to understand that it's kind of okay. Someone was telling me the other day, you can kind of get away with stuff in this area.
Yeah.
I mean, go down to South Beach, they'll be fucking have you on the
Yeah,
floor
no,
in
South Beach
handcuffs,
is
but
clean.
Here, like,
but-
they kind of understand that this is what Wynwood is, and
Yeah.
You know, and it stretches right the way to Little Haiti.
At least
and-
for these couple weeks, like, okay, let them do illegal things. If not, it's going to be a shit show with too many arrests.
That is,
and,
yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah, it's almost like that festival moment. Like, okay, well now we'll let them do it, and then we'll clean up on the after. Because if you cycle around on the Sunday afternoon when it's all over, and the Monday morning,
Yeah.
the whole place is destroyed. A few
Right.
days later,
Oh, dude.
everything's been painted clean. It should be. All the signs have been changed.
It's like the expected. The storm is coming.
Yeah.
Everything will get bombed to
Exactly.
shit. But, you
Yeah.
know,
They
that's
embrace
just how
that.
it is. It brings lots of
Absolutely.
money to the community. I really like that the Museum of Graffiti is like right after the Wynwood Walls. So like this
I
can be
do too.
street art,
I do.
but that can hold space for graffiti. And it's like, okay, there's a place to honor the roots there too.
Yeah. Let's face it. Without graffiti, there wouldn't be street art. And I'm not a big one for labels. When we first started doing like street art, we didn't
It
call
was graffiti.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was graffiti.
Yeah.
And then suddenly there became a divide after a few years because so many people who didn't have that.
I think it's raining coffee
Yeah,
right
it's the
now.
birds up there. So many people that didn't have that graffiti background and weren't knowledgeable about the kind of the rules and the what you should do and how you should roll on the street.
Yeah.
They didn't come from that. They kind of came in from somewhere else, and then you had guys going around with their posters and just like putting it through someone's throw up, and you're thinking, what are you doing? Like that's someone's throwing.
Right.
Like you fucking put it somewhere else. Put it
Yeah.
up high.
Yeah.
If there's no space, you don't put it up.
Yeah, and in the same way, I'd rather if graffiti doesn't go over a well-done mural that took like a long time to be made.
Yeah, well that came later on, didn't it? With the
As a revenge, almost.
Yeah, well, suddenly there was this label street art, and suddenly they had different facets, and suddenly there was, I think, more of a war from the graffiti scene on street art. Where the street art is a little bit like didn't really know what was going on. A lot of us come from graffiti backgrounds, though, so I knew all the rules and how to respect and how not to respect. So, in a way, I understand why they get upset. Sometimes,
Totally.
like.
Would you say that the London police now is considered street art? You say it comes from graffiti roots. Is it even street art anymore if you're not doing illegally? Is it become muralism? What's the difference? We're getting bombarded by these birds.
By these birds, man.
Hey, back off,
Hey.
yo!
One just hit me on the knee, it quite hurt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
On the bone.
Oh no, right on the bone.
I find those questions really difficult.
Yeah.
I hate all that labelling. I mean, it's the same in music back in the days that you're this, you're that. All
Yeah.
I know is we're artists. So that's what I would say. I wouldn't say I'm a graph artist, a street artist, I'm an artist. If it's on the wall, it's mural art. If it's in the gallery, it's gallery art. If it's on the street, it's street art.
Do you still do illegal work?
Yeah, sometimes. I don't have a lot of time for it now. Like I'm approaching 50 years old, but it's one of the things that I really, really loved doing was the going out on the streets. What happened majorly for me was that the laws changed. So in Amsterdam, when we first started going on the street, you could go around and paint, but no one really cared. Even if the cops caught you, you could have a conversation,
Right.
explain that you weren't trying to fuck something up and you were trying to beautify something.
Because
or
Amsterdam's an
some
artsy
shit.
city.
Yeah, but now not. Now like the cops are like about 16 years old and they're like robots.
Oh no.
Can't have a discussion with them. You either did something wrong or not.
Yeah.
And obviously, no one wants to get in any trouble. And you lose a bit of excitement for that way of life. I mean, back in the day, in my late 20s and early 30s, going to a major city and going out for drinks until 2 in the morning and then going painting, finding people watching for you, and the next day going and get your photos. And
Yeah. Well,
feel,
you're
I'm
not in
up,
your
yeah.
20s or 30s anymore.
Yeah, it's a young man's game, isn't it?
Well, and nicer to just get paid and pay your bills and.
Yeah, and also certain things like you'd reach a point where your work would either get stolen, crossed, or buffed over, and then you start thinking, it took a few hours to do that. Why don't I take a few hours to do a painting, and I can sell that, make some money. It's going to go in someone's home, make them happy.
Yeah.
So there's positivity in both things.
Yeah.
But certainly, if you want to make a living as an artist, you need to sell your artwork. You need to sell yourself, really. And in the early days, you'd see a lot of artists saying, "Oh yeah, you've gone commercial because you've sold your work, you've sold out." And for me, I thought, well, selling out is when you go and work in a fucking supermarket to
Yeah.
make your money and then go out bombing.
Or if you
because-
do art that you don't feel.
Yeah, well, you're doing job for someone else.
Or like just you could keep on doing art, but you could do art that like, oh, I don't really like that art, but people like it. That's selling out. But if you're still doing the art that you enjoy, then you're fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I knew people for a while who had their own alter ego, their name, their art name, and they stuck to their own style, but they weren't selling. So they'd have to do like design work for, I know, a design agency or for Adidas or for something under their own name. So their artist name wasn't sullied, you know, so it wasn't like, oh, that guy, he worked for Adidas. Like, half these guys had worked for Adidas and Nike, but they did it under their own design, you know, business.
Uh-huh.
And one of my friends particularly, he suddenly started making it with his artwork and then could give up all of that. But it's all because he never gave in. He,
You got hit on the nose on
That's
that
okay,
one.
just like a mere flesh wound.
Yeah.
He
Risking your life
he
here.
never gave up,
Uh-huh.
and in the end, he now makes a living being his artist name.
Oh, nice.
Because he never changed his style to suit a job.
Yeah, is he a graffiti or?
I'd say he's fine art painter. Yeah, a guy called Wayne Horse.
Okay.
One of my favourite artists, one of my favourite people. German guy living in Amsterdam.
Uh-huh.
We've been friends for nigh on 20 years. There was a whole group of us artists in Amsterdam who grew up together in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And everyone has gone on to do amazing things. You know, you got Wayne Horse being one of them.
How long have you been in Amsterdam?
I moved to Amsterdam in 1998.
From London?
Yeah, I was 24 years old. Me and Bob moved there, and we really wanted to. I don't know. We wanted to seek our fortune. We wanted to take on the world. And here we are 25 years later, and sometimes me and Bob talk about what we did and all the beautiful moments we've had and the journey that we had going all the way there. And we realized that we really did what we wanted to do. We created our own freedom, we created something special. We're not the biggest or the greatest artists in the world, but we've had the greatest time. And I think that is one of the things that I'm really proud of. You know,
Biggest and greatest is like super relative, and it's
Right.
definitely important to follow your own personal path and bliss or makes you happy. I would say that having a name like the London Police makes it that you're kind of like stuck to being in London, but you're like, well, you know what? We're gonna be in Amsterdam now, and you've been probably in Amsterdam longer.
Since we formed the London Police, and then we moved to Amsterdam about 2 months later.
Oh my God.
So we've always been.
Was that challenging to be in Amsterdam calling yourself that? And there's like, oh, here's these like, you know, British people invading our area? Or is it such a like an international scene that accepts, and plus Europe's so small.
Yeah, well,
that-
the real police in London, England, are called the Metropolitan Police. They're not
Okay.
actually called the London Police.
Uh-huh.
So already that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So already it was our name, which is why it kind of at the beginning had a nice ring to it. It had like a rock and roll feel to it.
Yeah. Because it's anti-establishment.
It kind of was like the reclaiming of the name sort of thing. I don't know, it just...
So you're making fun of it.
I don't know, at the time, it was more that we used to go up to London and just wander around and think about what we could do with putting our photo. We were photographers.
Yeah.
We were going to take photos, a bit like JR, and print them and then put them up in the street.
That's how you started?
Make galleries, yeah, in the
Oh,
street. We started with photography.
Okay.
The first 2 or 3 London Police shows were photography.
Okay.
But we started drawing this little character as we went, and very quickly we realised that that was where the future lay, because there's millions of good photographers out there, like and very good ones, of course.
And it's hard to recognize a photographic style.
A little bit, whereas we had these
harder.
little characters happening,
Yeah.
and people would go, oh man, I love these little characters, what are they called? It's like, well, they're called lads.
The happy faces
Yeah,
guys?
they're these guys. In the early days, we draw them in very primitive form.
Yeah.
So literally one quick circle for the head, little body, 2 legs.
It's like
smile.
Mr. Men style.
Yeah, and I recognised that I couldn't, even if I tried, I couldn't draw the same thing perfect twice. Already they had a different personality, and I found that fascinating.
Yeah.
So I just kept drawing them on little bits of paper. We'd go in Amsterdam coffee shops, me and Bob, we'd smoke a couple of joints, we'd drink some fruit juices, because we weren't big drinkers back then, we were smokers. And then we'd just sit and we'd draw these characters again and again and again. And I guess it got bigger to the point where I wanted to put a fat outline around it, and I got hold of these marker pens and realised that I could sort of with a thicker outline around the head and a thicker outline. And actually, instead of the small little shoes, I could do bigger shoes like
like Adidas.
Yeah, like Mo 2 used to draw on like his early work, or the characters, or Doze Green. When Doze Green did the characters for the Rocksteady crew album, I was a kid, and like, hey, you, the Rocksteady crew, show them what to do. I loved it. It was like breakdance and New York hip hop style. He drew all the characters of the Rocksteady crew with these big fat trainers, and it became synonymous with graffiti characters to have the big sneakers.
Right.
So that's why I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but that's why the big sneakers are in there. And gradually, over a period of about a year or two, you started to get more refined. Like now the circle needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
The body needs to be in the right place. The shoes need to be fat. And before you knew it, the character had reached a level where it has to be done properly.
Yeah.
And now, as you see our work over in the Wynwood Walls here, it's got to be perfect. In the early days, we would draw everything by hand. Now it's
you got like a really interesting compass, I saw.
Yeah, big compasses. It's maths. It's almost like design work. You know, like everything has to be the same width going around, and it looks clean.
Yeah, super clean.
It fills us with pride when people come up to us and say, "Oh man, I thought it was printed. Oh, it looks like it was a robot. It looks like it was printed." That's the ambition, and it's an ambition that you can never really fulfill. You can never get it perfect enough, which is a beautiful way of giving yourself the momentum to improve and to always have a very high level of craftsmanship.
Can I ask you what kind of black paint are you using?
You can, and I would not be able to tell you. It's from Sherwin-Williams, I think.
Okay, so it's just like latex.
Yeah, it's nothing special. My friend D-Face, he uses a stuff called One Shot, which is really expensive and special because literally you only need to do it one time.
Right.
We generally need to double black our stuff to make it really pop. We started to use bucket paint, latex paint a lot, and we started to realise ain't no good doing one or two. It ain't no good doing one or two layers. Maybe it needs three.
You gotta get it.
It needs to be punchy and fat, and then the piece pops.
Yeah.
And when it pops,
the contrast gotta be there.
Yeah, it brings an extra something to the piece. You know, if you're in the business of making murals and artwork, you should always be looking for it to be even better. What can I do to make this better than the last one? What can I do to make this really pop? And those are the things you learn in time.
Just a right brush that puts the right lines too, at least for Bob's work. You do the characters, but Bob does what does he do? Like technological shit?
The architecture, the illustrative
stuff.
He does the more human-looking portraits, but he's a machine. He is an absolute. We had a question in a panel tour the other day, and they said, "Who's your favourite artist?" And people were quoting the usual suspects, who I resonate with, of course. But I said my favourite artist is Bob, and that's because I worked with him for 25 years. He never gets it wrong. He nails it every time. His work rate and motivation and his focus is unrivaled, and that pushes me. And then I'm very tight, you know, I'm so tight, probably tighter than Bob, even with the lines that I draw, and that pushes him. So over the course of 2.5 decades, we've pushed each other to a level of craftsmanship where I don't even question it anymore. I don't care what he's fucking doing on the piece.
So would it be...
He's fine, he's good, and I'm good.
So is it ever a competitive vibe between you two, or is it a cooperative vibe, or both?
I wouldn't say it's competitive because...
You never want to one-up him up, or vice versa?
We might want to one-up a little. No, we're so in it together that would be counterproductive.
Is he your best friend then?
Yes, absolutely. We've become very different people over the 27, 28 years we've known each other. At the beginning, we were the same person. We were happy-go-lucky, ambitious, smoking weed, running around. He went the way of family, had kids, started to party less and less and
less.
He's
in a rock band too.
He's in a rock band. He's a wonderful musician. But I went the way. I'm much more social. I like to be out all the time.
Yeah.
So we have a saying in London, please: work like Bob, party like Chaz. And the mix of those two things somehow creates a marriage of a living, working, successful art duo. But if we didn't have the friendship, the house of cards would fall down.
Yeah.
So by caring about each other and understanding each other, I know what he wants. He knows what I want. Sometimes there's something I really want to do, and he doesn't want to do it. So then we don't do it because we don't want to do it. We have to find the middle ground. If he doesn't want to do it, we don't want to do it. If I don't want to do it, we don't want to do it.
Wow. So that's like it's almost like a relationship with a female partner or a marriage where you got to compromise and know when to let go of things that you want in order to make your partner happy.
Yeah, and on a further dynamic, I mean, with these kids growing up over the past, like his kid's now 16 and 12. But at a certain point, that caused a lot of problems too. Hey, Bob, we've got a gig in Miami first week of March. Then there's one in Brazil, and he'll be like, I can only do one. I can't leave my family for too long. So I then couldn't do one, or I had to go do one on my own. And then they'd say, hey, where's the other guy? Where's the guy with the talent? Why's this guy here?
Oh, no!
So, you know...
I like that you went to Jamaica without him and stuff, and
you have to learn to work to your dynamics.
Yeah.
And now we're getting to a point where his kids are getting older and he's able to stay out a bit longer. We can do more work together. But it's the understanding of each other's position, and he understands that I want to do more in that. So we've had about, I'd say, two occasions where we almost broke up.
Oh, wow.
And I always say, let's go our own way. But in the end, those were moments that actually made you look again at the situation and realise that there's more positive than there is negative to us working together. There's more advantages to disadvantages.
Yeah.
So you take the rough with the smooth, and it is what it is. And right now we're in a period the last few years where we're very understanding of each other. We work well together. Like he's always there first. I come in a little later.
Yeah.
And he's always there last because I go out. Now he could easily be that guy who turns around and go, hey man, I'm doing fucking 9 hours a day, you're doing 7.
Yeah.
You're going out, you're turning up drunk, like you're obviously high out your mind. Like he doesn't care. He knows who I am. He knows that I need that.
Yeah.
To be able to come and enjoy ourselves.
Well, there's two vibes on your art, you know? You got these happy characters bubbling around, and then you got these very tight, I don't want to say constipated stuff, but like it takes a certain personality to do this crazy building or robot.
I think constipated is a good word.
Okay. Well, I don't want to insult Bob.
Let's get Bob some fruit.
Some prunes and shit.
Yeah, let's get him some prunes and figs. Yeah. No, the difference in the styles marries really well because I would imagine some people might assume it's the same artist. It's all tight, it's all...
Because it's black and white. That's what ties it all together.
Yeah. But again, when you do something with someone for 25 years, number one, you've probably got through the tough times and you're on a thing together. And two, you've learned how to make it work. You don't, as we were saying earlier, you don't get successful doing it for 25 years if it's not working. Now, it doesn't mean everyone's going to like it, and it doesn't mean you're the bee's knees, but it means you've formed a successful working relationship. Yeah. And those heady days of wanting to be the best or wanting to be famous are long gone.
But you've reached what you had to reach, and you're still growing naturally by momentum, but you've got what you need and you're satisfied, and you don't have to like conquer the world. What does that mean anyways? There's always a next level anyways.
Exactly. No, we're very much got our feet on the floor. We know, we believe in ourselves still. I mean, it's been 25 years. I believe we could go on another 25. It wasn't for the fact that I'll probably be dead way before that, but...
I don't know about
you
that.
never know.
You're like what? You said 40...
49.
49, okay.
Yeah, but I have a decadent lifestyle that I need to reel in a little bit. As I'm getting towards 50, you realise that partying and drinking, it's a younger man's game, you know.
Now I feel bad for buying you these beers.
No, can you get us another one? Paulina,
can you get us another beers? That lady down there, and like...
tell Bianca. Say to Bianca, Paulina, this is our girl Bianca.
Yeah.
She works there. Say Chaz is being interviewed over there. He asked if we can get a couple of beers, and she should give them on the house.
Goldman, you would think that Goldman, that has all these artist friends, would have done a little bit better artwork than this stick figure, or maybe they did it just being like, we can't choose.
Well, that's London Police in a heartbeat, isn't it? Simplicity. Simplicity.
I would have preferred to see one of your characters and a stick figure.
Yeah, but our figure isn't a gold man. I guess that is gold man. Like, I like it. But again, that's the beauty of art. Right there, you weren't sure about it, I like it. That is art. And
To each their own.
And I get bored of like this whole rhetoric of, oh yeah, that guy's shit, or this girl over here, she's rubbish, or this guy's really hot. It's like, in your opinion.
Yeah.
So many people miss those 3 words out at the beginning of their sentence. In my opinion,
yeah.
I think this is shit. They go, oh, this is shit. Maybe it isn't to someone else. And that's the world we live in right now. Like, people need to be a little bit more open to a counter-argument and a counter-opinion. You can still have your opinion.
Right.
Please have your opinion. That's great.
Yeah, and nobody's gotta like your art, and that doesn't make you a bad person if they don't like your art. Like I said, like, hey, it's not for me.
If you worry about people liking your art, you're not on the right path.
Yeah,
Thank
wow.
you, Pauline. That's great
Sick.
work.
You and Paulina
Did
got
you get him
one.
on the house, yeah? You dropped Chris Dyer's name, huh?
No, the
Dyer.
Chaz London Police
No, but
name.
that's the point.
My name doesn't go very far in this town.
I can understand that you want people to like your work. That's I can understand that, but you have to like your work. If you like your work and you're happy with your work, that is the barometer for success, in my opinion. Whether or not other people will like it or not, then you have to go into the in the world and see. But you shouldn't worry. You shouldn't worry about it. I know too many people who cater their evolution to what people like. But which people are liking it and which people are not liking it, and are you compromising your evolution to someone else's opinion? You know, be happy in what you do, and the rest will follow.
And you're happy with what you do.
Oh, we love what we do.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's a job.
Right. In my opinion, your work and Bob's and Chinny Bond too, we got to include him. It's the third part of the crew. It's all about positivity.
Yes.
It seems happy, even though there's no color. Like my art's all about colors to like give you the sense of like happiness and positivity. Yours is black and white, and you can still pass on the sense of positivity. What's the importance to you to pass on positivity to the community?
Absolutely, number one. I see us very much as, whilst I'm giving all the lyrics about, oh, you don't need to care what anyone else thinks, the point is, recognize that once you're at this level, you're an entertainer. You don't sign up to come in the Wynwood Walls and turn up and think, oh, I'm just going to be experimental, do what I want. You're here to entertain.
Yeah.
This amazing organisation have created this. They bring in the artists. Our job is to paint the walls, but then the most important people are the people coming through.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who are being entertained. And kids coming through, older people coming through. You want people to look at stuff and question it. You want people to look at stuff and be inspired by it.
Right.
You even want people to look at stuff and dislike it.
Yeah.
It's what it's all about.
But you also gotta know which song to sing. Like if you got different songs, you wanna sing the song that will make people happy and stoke them up.
Yeah. Well, that's the job of GGA. That's the job of Goldman Global Arts, to get a varied and diverse crowd of people in here, a representative of the scene. Different styles. I mean, I look across and right now I can see Milo over here, and I love his work. You see it all around Europe and the world. And I know, the minute you see Milo, you know it's Milo. He's super cool. In front of us, we have Mina Hamada, great friend of mine, and beautiful colours and beautiful style.
From Japan, huh?
Yeah, we got Lauren YS behind us.
Squid Liquor?
Squid Liquor.
Amazing work. I'm looking at me like the shadows and the colors and the characters.
Almost every day I walked in, I saw them painting this without stopping, with so much energy. And when we left, they were always here as well.
Really amazing, very psychedelic.
Lauren obviously has her a lot of activism in what she does, and her beliefs about what's going on, and her feelings about, and she put that all into they put that all into their artwork, and I'm really proud to be alongside the likes of me. And I could go around and give you fat compliments about everyone in here, because everyone in here has had the purpose to make something good. You're in a special place, so you bring your A game.
To be in the Wynwood Walls, it's almost like you made it. It's like, oh wow, like you got chosen to be in this museum of street art because you've perhaps brought a style that really has turned heads. And it's like, okay, we want that, I would love to be here. I don't know if I'm part of that game or that world.
Well, there's certainly a style of artwork that fits in here, or at least fits to the creator's what's the word?
The curators.
It fits to the curator's taste. Sorry.
Right.
If it fits to the, and I think that the top would be Jessica Goldman. I think at the end of the day, she's the one. The crew bring in artists to show her, and she decides who is the ones who will be the new Wynwood Walls artists. But I love it that it changes, and they have a very family vibe here. You get very well looked after. And I know her family very well, her sons and her husband. They're all really beautiful people doing a lot of things for the artwork, and they look after us, so
nice.
We're eternally grateful to be in here.
So tell me about this particular show. You guys even got the branding to the show.
Well, they started the gift shop a couple of years back, and they wanted us to do stuff because we were part of their family. And everyone would have different views on the merchandise and branding of art. I get that as well. I understand
it's graphic.
I understand there's different views about at what point are you selling out and all that. Okay, that's up to. But the point was, we said to them, we can't have stuff in the shop until we're in the walls again, because we used to have this wall in front of us here, and that went down in about 2019, and we said, come on, give us a. When we did this wall, I said, we'll do this wall, and we're very grateful, but can we get a big wall later on? And we were, very graciously given I would say one of the best spots.
That's a really nice big wall.
It's a real spot.
Yeah.
So we got that, and we were like, right, now we have to do the best work we can do, and now you can do some products, because whilst I accept those arguments that people say about selling out and you're just making money. I mean, at the end of the day,
about it. Who cares?
Well, like we did think about it, and we're okay with having our products in the Wynwood Walls. We like it that people can come here and they can take something home with them.
But I'm just saying, like, who cares about the comments of like selling out? Like, what? You don't want to pay your rent, your mortgage, and like buy yourself organic, healthy food to live a healthy life and continue. Like, what's wrong with making money from sharing the gifts of your heart?
Yeah, agreed. That's how I feel. All I'm doing is I'm just putting it out there. I guess I know it's a strong subject that sometimes people have.
Well, we started for free because we were young and we wanted to do it for fun. But then if people were interested in it and want to pay money for it, it shouldn't be a sin.
Yeah, and me and Bob, trust me, we don't make a lot of money. We get by and we enjoy ourselves, and we can look after our family and friends, and we could have made a lot more money doing something else in life, I'm sure. But we have been as happy as this, and mate, it's all about the happiness. It's all about the happiness, isn't it? If you can be happy, and at the same time we still retrieve ambition, yet we're content. I mean, I could never have anything more in my life, and I'd be grateful for what I had.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I don't want more and I'm not ambitious. But you do it the right way, do it with a happy heart, and you'll get there.
I would hope that you're making good money. You got these beautiful canvases in the gallery that are going for good prices.
They're good money now. You were 25 years. 25 years. Our first canvases, I remember selling them for like $100. $100, and I was like, fucking
we all started with $100.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point now, it's up to like 10,000 a square meter.
Yeah.
But say we sell one for 10,000, the gallery takes 5.
Right.
Me and Bob split again, and then we have to pay, a percentage to the people that work with us.
Right.
In the end, a canvas that sells for 10, I think I make about 3.5, 4, and then tax that half that I get. Actually, in the end,
everything goes to bills at the end of the day, so we can have a place to just sit down and actually do the art. So that's why I'm saying it's no crime to try to sell the fruits of our heart if we so desire. So when you do like a big, complicated, very detailed mural like that one, or a canvas that has so much going on, do you guys like sketch it out, go on the computer, get it all dialed in before you jump on the canvas, before you jump on the mural? Or you got a general idea and be like, well, I know how to go along with my style in that way?
A mix of both. I would say the experience of working together for so many years is we know what each other can do. We know tried and tested methods for certain shapes. We know that elongated canvases work well with a totem pole ad. We know that the sideways ones work better with a cast of characters. So you'll look at each project. Like we were given this wall, so you look at the dimensions and you say to yourself, okay, what can we do? And we know what we can do. The sketching part is, it's like a childlike sketch. We just need to know where things are.
You gotta know where, yeah.
Once we get on the wall, we know we can adapt.
Yeah.
We stay flexible, that we can actually, let's get some of these guys going on in the back. Oh, we know what we could do here.
Yeah.
We could do like a water tank with all your characters in.
You can echo around.
Yeah, there's this inventory of characters.
Yeah,
and
there's
styles.
some freestyle to it.
Hey, why don't we put one of those guys in there? Why don't we put the water tank where they say, oh, why don't we put a Bork in there? And so, yeah.
You know how to sing your song.
Yeah.
So you just need a bass line, and it's like, oh, let's throw some fucking, like, you know, piano in here.
That's a good analogy.
You
We
know?
know what beats we like. We know what style of music we like. We know what's going to happen.
Right.
You don't experiment like on the big gigs. You know, like you experiment in the studio, but we really don't put down much of a sketch. If I showed you the sketch of that, it would be laughable. However, because of the nature of that wall, we did mock up a design that we could project so that we could get the main characters in the right place. But it's very simple stuff, so that the next day you can all do it freehand and you can be flexible and stuff like that. But getting things in the right place. I love structure and balance within the piece. I love a symmetrical composition, and my characters, you'll find, are always symmetrical.
Right.
And they hold the structure of the piece together.
Yeah.
Then Bob can go in between with all the detail and be flexible and spread his wings a little bit. If you think about it, my characters are all kind of hollow and empty. They're white, with a few numbers in them and stuff, but Bob has to fill all that space in with his characters.
Negative space is needed.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a very detail-oriented thing, and sometimes I like make sure you leave empty spaces. If not, it's just gonna like fill up the place, and it's all gonna be an empty space in a way.
You can do too much.
Yeah.
You can do too much. And in fact, I looked around the walls the day before we did it, and I said, ours needs to be a little bit more serene than some of these. There's a lot going on in this place.
Yeah.
And it's to each artist's credit that they produced what they did, but...
Well, you got that light blue also to calm it down.
Well, there's that space in the sky and there's that space in the floor. And hopefully that brings a certain serenity to the madness and intense detail that we were going to put across the middle. We wanted it to be like, you can see it from here,
yeah,
but every step you walk closer to it, you can see more detail.
Yeah, I like that too. I like when, like, from far away, it punches you already, and you're like, oh, that looks dope because of general composition, but then you go in and you can keep on like pulling in and pulling in and finding more to it.
And what that does, that sucks the person who's looking into the world, and we go full circle to this idea that it's about the people being entertained. You know, you want the kids to stand there and look at it and walk toward it. Oh, I need to go in and look at that bit.
Yeah, like, oh, there's a little fucking city thing back here.
Bits you didn't notice at first, and if you go in close, there's all this story going on.
Yeah.
You know, the idea that you can inspire kids, I think, is one of the more stronger arguments to why it's good to have places like Wynwood Walls. Adults, okay, enjoy it.
Yeah.
You've had your time. You know, you're on your trip. The kids, because once again, we come back full circle to remembering what it was like for you the first time you saw a graffiti piece. Remembering what it was like to you the first time you saw cartoon characters.
They're really looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like Disney in the early days, like the Pink Panther, all those like early cartoons, I loved it. Hong Kong Phooey was one. There were certain children's programs in England that I resonated with. Mr. Men. Yeah. The guy called Roger Hargreaves drew like Mr. Noisy, Mr.
I love those books. I went to a British school in Peru, by the way.
Yeah.
So we had all those books.
We painted at the British school in Peru.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was it called?
Britannico, right?
Oh, okay. I went to Markham College in Peru.
There's loads of them out there. Is that okay? Yeah. But Mr. Men were great.
Yeah.
So, and I remember going to a school fete, and there was an artist there, and you could ask him to draw something and he'd draw it. And I remember being in the queue and watching this guy go, and some kid said, oh, I want you to draw me a drummer. And this guy just went, and I remember watching him draw, and he gave this kid the bit. Next guy go, I want you to draw me a knight on a horse. And I remember being so inspired, like, wow, this guy, this magic came out of his hand from here to here. And he could,
how does he know?
How can he do it?
Yeah.
How can he? I was only like 5. It was one of my first memories, really. Someone's got the jams on.
Man, Wynwood's so cool, man. So hip-hop.
Some of those vehicles going past are wicked with those massive tires and the shocks.
Like
and,
Miami's got a vibe.
Yeah.
It's special.
but that's the thing, you see, when you see a car go past like that, you know that the geezer who's in that is really into it. You know, he loves it and he polishes his wheels and he's wanting to get the next level thing.
Yeah.
We're like that with our art, and some people are like that with their music, and you need that. You need that in life. You need the people who are so into it, so that the rest of us can enjoy that. I love soccer.
Yeah.
For my sins, I don't really care too much about art.
Who are you a fan of?
West Ham United.
Okay.
That's my football team. I tune in for every game. It doesn't matter where I am in the world. I'll know West Ham are playing.
Okay.
I tune in. I'm addicted. I'm a fanatic.
Nice.
That's my thing. I know most people I know, they don't give a shit about football, and I know it means
I grew
nothing.
up being a football fan and being in a gang that followed a, I would fight against the fans of other
you would,
soccer,
you like
Peruvian styles, you know.
Peruvian style, baby. Yeah. But that's me.
Yeah.
That's what I like. So I go all fanboy if I were to meet the soccer players from my team.
If you see
Then
somebody
I'm-
with a t-shirt on the street, you're like,
Yo,
fuck
mate,
yeah!
West Ham. Yeah, we do like this. This is West Ham.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
Nice.
because they're the crossed hammers.
Yeah, is that Sussex?
It's Essex and East London. So, well, it's basically East London, but outside of East London, you have Essex. And my family grew up in East London and moved out to Essex where I was born. So I'm West Ham fan because of my grandparents and my dad. I had no choice, really. It's like ingrained in you before you have a chance to really realise that your team's shit and it's going to be the bane of your life for nigh on 50 years. But we're doing good right now and I enjoy it. Yes, 2 days ago we beat our biggest rival. We had it on the radio while we were painting.
Oh, wow.
There was some fist bumping but that's the point, you see, like everyone likes different things.
Yeah.
So if there's people who like art and London Police, then we're doing that for them. And we give and we take to everyone, so.
Okay, so let me ask you this. The London Police sounds like an anti-establishment name, and I know you don't fall for the Babylon politics in some way. Can you tell me how you've been observing the world in the last couple of years?
Well, yeah, that's a tricky question as well, because not so much because I don't have an answer for it, but because me and Bob have differing views on certain things.
Okay.
We always promised ourselves that we would keep the London Police as a positive art thing, and we wouldn't be political, and we wouldn't get too heavy into views and standing with this or standing with that. Now, that's not to say that I don't understand, respect, and sometimes resonate with other artists who are choosing to be more active in their opinions or to stand with different things. I just think the way the world is, this is me personally now, so I'm not speaking for Bob, I'm not speaking for London Police right now, I'm speaking for Chaz. What I've seen in the last few years has made me think that there's a lot of theatre out there. There's a lot of theatre and scamming out there that is dividing people and is designed to divide people. And actually, there is a third option other than on this side or that side. There's the recognition that there might be a higher agenda controlling both sides.
Creating the division.
Bill Hicks was one of my favourite ever comedians. He was an American guy who got big in the 80s and early 90s until he sadly passed away. I think it was about 1992. We're growing up. He was such a great comedian, and he always, spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, but it'll make you laugh, it'll make you think. And he had, honestly, great and interesting theories and opinions, even back then, on politics in America, politics in the world, a higher agenda controlling things, and etc., etc. And he said that he made the joke, like it's like, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you politics in America. Hey, I agree with the guy on this, I agree with the puppet on this side. Oh, well, I agree with the puppet on that side. Hey, there's one guy holding both puppets. And I remember resonating with that as a kid, going, yeah, he's right, you know, this two-party politics of, oh, they're in now and everyone celebrates, this team's in, and everyone on that side complains, this team's shit, and then after 4 years, woo, you swing to the other one, then that team suddenly hates this team, and now you're the winner, and the whole...
It's like a soccer match in a way.
Yeah, well, listen, I do get, the disclaimer here is, okay, so Chaz, what would you do then? You got a better system? Well, actually, no, I'm too busy.
We're just artists.
But it is a valid point. I can't give you the answers of what might be better. I don't know, think about it. I could chuck some theories out. But all I'm saying is the system that's in place right now, I don't think is working as well as it could. And people are suffering. The division going on right now in the world is intense. It seems that people are so busy with the finality of their opinion that they're not open to counter-argument. They're not open to a discussion about it. Now that's not to say I don't understand when people are very sure of their opinion. I do get it. But you have to be open to discussion and counter-argument. Otherwise, there's no discussion.
We have to keep on talking.
You've got to keep on talking, because otherwise that just represents war.
Yeah.
Peace is where you come together and work it out. War is when you've got to the point where it's like, well, no, we can't work it out because we just can't agree.
It's this way or nothing,
it's
and
my
fuck
way.
you.
So if I talk to someone who tells me about this pick a subject like this, oh, I think it's like this and you should think like me. Well, I think like this. No, you're wrong, you should think like me. Well, at that point, just tell me what I should think then. Just tell me what I should. I think Alice Cooper I saw the other day saying any musician, pop artist that comes out and tells you who you should vote for isn't telling you how to think. They're telling you how to not to think for yourself. And I resonate with that. It's true. What business have you got if you're, some of these top celebrity musicians who join in a political campaign? It's one thing saying this is the political party I resonate with it.
Right.
But telling your fans this is where you need to.
Yeah. And if you're not with this, you suck. Oh, come on! Don't tell me I suck. I love your music.
Certain artists, like throughout the Trump-Biden lead-up, I mean, some of the politicization of your artwork. I mean, I ask an artist this: we're in the business of selling art, so someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, I've got a client. He wants to buy work for you. He wants to spend $30,000 on a piece." And you say, "Oh man, that's great news. Can you check which political party he follows?
Right.
Because if he doesn't follow the one I follow, I don't want to sell it to him."
Uh-huh.
Now, if you really mean it, then respect to you if you're going to say, I don't sell my work to anyone who's Republican. I don't sell my work to anyone who's Democratic. I mean, give me a fucking break. At that point, I saw artists literally telling some of their fans and followers, don't follow me then if you follow this guy or that guy. And
it's okay to be passionate about what you love, but not to the point where you're pushing out the people that love your soul expression.
Again, there's counter arguments. Are you not allowed to like my artwork if you don't follow my
personal
theory?
beliefs
I think
or
people
perspectives?
sometimes I think it's weird with especially with Instagram and Facebook, this word followers almost has a religious connotation. Jesus and the disciples, the followers of Jesus. They're not your followers. They're not following your mantra in life. They like your artwork maybe, and every now and then they put, oh, that's nice, bang, there's a like. I think it got into people's head too much, that the people who follow you have to follow your
religious,
ideology of
political
life.
beliefs.
And again, disclaimer, I do get it that some people may want that, and if that's the case, then fair enough. If you believe that, that's how you should be.
For sure, I prefer the people that I follow musically resonate with me. And sometimes if they're going to be aggressive towards me, is, you know what, I can't follow you if you're going to be insulting me. That's like a different thing. Yeah. But you know what, like, you can believe what you believe, and I can believe what I believe, and our souls can still connect on the oneness that is all.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? A psychological question. You meet someone, and let's say this person has like committed terrible crimes, heinous crimes, murder, whatever, but he likes your artwork, and now he's in the money a bit, and he wants to buy a piece. You know, at what point do you take all that into account? I can't sell my work to someone like that. I guess there is a level for everyone, but the fact that someone supports a different political party or has a different ideology, at what point is the line significant enough that you say, no, I'm not selling to that person? It's a really weird, it's actually, don't get me wrong, I don't have the answer for that. I mean, I'm giving it all the lyrics now, but...
Because you saw the painting to Nicolas Cage, right?
Nick Cage, I'm a prickly pear.
What's your favorite Nicolas Cage movie?
Oh, I watched Wild at Heart the other day, and he's so good in that. And Raising Arizona, I thought he was absolutely brilliant in.
I love Face Off.
Face Off's brilliant. I love Nick Cage, and it was so great because we did a big painting of Bruce Lee in Los Angeles, and we found out a few weeks later that Nick Cage had come in and really liked it, and they took a photo of Nicolas Cage with the painting and sent it to us going, Nick, he wants to buy it, he's a big fan of Bruce Lee. And I saw an interview with him, and he said he was a big fan of Bruce Lee. So that's obviously why the painting meant something to him. So I thought to myself, oh man, fucking love Nick Cage. Leaving Las Vegas, by the way, also awesome film. So I tentatively wrote to the gallery owner and I said, hey, I'm going to make a little message for Nick Cage. Can you forward it to him? I don't want to be the guy who's like, oh, give me his details and I'll get in his grill.
Yeah.
So, hey, Nick, the usual email. Oh, thanks so much for buying our piece. Big fan of the work you've done and your geezer, blah, blah, blah.
He's a real actor. He's interested in doing really interesting characters and pushing the boundaries of what we can express through his art.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But to finish the what I wrote to him, at the end I put, I'm going to be in LA in about a month's time. Got a little bit of time. If you'd like to meet up, have a drink, I can talk to you about the artwork. I can, we can meet and say hi. And I just sent that over to him. Nothing. I never ever heard anything from him. And what does that say? That says that look, just because this fucking guy buys the piece, doesn't need some fanboy like me. Doesn't have to meet me and hang out and talk.
I imagine
and stuff
his
like that.
time, he just wants his time for himself.
Yeah, whatever. I was happy to send, and had I got to have met Nick Cage, I've been well happy because I do really like him and his work. The recent film, the unbearable weight of enormous talent, or something like that. It's a really interesting film where he plays himself as a washed-up version of himself, and he has to get back into the big time. It's a really interesting movie. So you're right. He does push those things. But yeah, he doesn't need to write.
We
back
don't
to him,
owe anything to anybody, really.
Nick Cage doesn't owe me anything.
No. If he wants to hang, he hangs. If
Nick
not,
wants to hang with me. Nick, if you're out there and you want to hang out, let's go and shoot some pool.
Hey, Nick, come grab some beers with us.
Hey.
We're having a good time here.
He's like, not the beers.
But we got to hang out with Fat Boy Slim today.
That's right.
That's fucking sick.
That's right.
I'd rather hang out with him. Chaz, what's the capital of Micronesia?
Oh, that's a tough one, right? Micronesia. Oh. Oh, you got me on this one.
What about the capital of Uruguay?
Uruguay's easy. Montevideo. You went straight in with Micronesia.
Well, I was like, because you're so good at the capitals.
Capital cities, yeah.
So we hanged out in Jamaica. We painted at Bob Marley's brother's land, 9 Mile, where Bob Marley grew up and is
amazing,
buried.
wasn't it?
It was a great experience, and that's where we got to know each other and hang out with Chinny Bond.
Yeah, it was great.
And painted. Shout outs Jonathan Lamb and Linz also.
Linz and Lamb.
And we played this game. You know so many capitals.
Yeah.
What's going on there? Why do you know so many capitals of the world?
Well, basically, it's actually tied into Wynwood Walls.
Oh.
So the first year we did Wynwood Walls was 2015. And we were all invited over to Jessica Goldman's house. It was Thanksgiving. So all the artists, people who were playing, everyone, we had like a 20-strong party over there to celebrate Thanksgiving. She has these 3 sons, and at the time I think they were 8, 10, and 12, something like that. Really impressive kids. They were, obviously had good education. They came from a well-to-do family. They had the trampoline in the back garden. They were shooting. They were brilliant. They were really impressive kids. James could play the piano and sing at the age of 12. It was amazing. And they were playing this Capital Cities quiz on the phone the whole night. And I was like, I know my fucking capital cities. I'll take these little fucking guys on. Let's do this. And within about 2 or 3 minutes, they'd absolutely humiliated me. They knew capitals to cities. They knew capital cities to countries. I didn't know the country. Stuff like that. I was like, oh God. And I looked really stupid. All the other guys were laughing at me, and that stuck in my craw. So over the next year, I knew I was coming back the next year. We're probably going to see him again. I studied the capital cities of the world, and I learned every single one to a T. This is like 2016. the year of 2016, I went away and I just like religiously.
Oh my God.
I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I'd go, La Paz, capital of Peru. Like, oh, God.
Oh, Bolivia.
But, yeah, Bolivia's La Paz, huh?
Yeah.
Peru is Lima.
Yeah.
Sorry. See, look, you see, I've got rusty.
Yeah.
But I would literally, I've been thinking about them all the time.
I didn't do too bad on that contest that you were running, except that I cheated because, you know, whoever we were playing with at the time, I couldn't help but help him, and that took away a point off me. He's like, oh, you can't help
that's
somebody.
right. Yeah, you were out of order there.
Yeah.
So anyway, 1 year goes past. I've learned all these capitals, like everything. I would do the whole 206 countries, and I'd always get 2 or 3 right. It's so hard to, weirdly enough, it's always hard to remember. There's always 1 or 2, the Guineas, Equatorial Guinea, Guinea-Bissau and Guinea.
Yeah.
They would always get me, stuff like that. And I turned up at the house and there was another party and the kids were 1 year older. And I sort of like, I didn't make a big thing of it. At some point I was just like, do you remember last year we did that capital cities quiz? Oh yeah, should we do it again?
Yeah.
Should we do it again? Let's and the kids didn't get it at all. They were like, yeah, sure, yeah. And they started bringing it up. I battered them. I battered all of them, mate. Rinsed them.
The kids are just like a comment, you destroy them.
I rinsed them, yeah. I was in charge. I was the man.
Oh my
and after 1 year, I'd got my own back.
Yeah.
And of course, that's just a whimsical, funny story for the reason why I learned all of them. But afterwards, I realised how important and special it was to know a small fact about every country in the world. And you'd be in New York and you'd get in a cab of a guy, where are you from? Oh, Kazakhstan. So, oh, Astana is your capital. And he'd go, you've been there, you know it? And I know, but I know it's the capital. And just that little seed of...
It's enough caring, and it's such an inconsequential little detail, but it's something to honor every country.
In a way, it just says everything about, you know, we are one world. The more you divide and the more you have boards, again, I get it that things have to be organised, but we're one world together, and learning a small fact about every country. I can't believe you brought Micronesia. Now it's bugging. Do you know it?
No, no, and Paulina was like, you should know the answer, and I was like, no, Chini will know. No, not Chini. Well, Chini is just showing up here.
Federal States of Micronesia. It might be Palakir, but that might be Palakir. It might be
Chini. What is it?
Majuro.
You wanna make a little guest appearance here?
Can you find out what that is? I think it's Majura or Majuro.
The capital of Micronesia.
You fucking started with the Federal States of Micronesia. I mean, give me Italy, give me Egypt to start with.
No, Italy, come on.
Get me wet, lube me up first. No lube. He fucking went in with no lube.
Right with Micronesia.
Yeah, because I wanted to get it.
Majura? What is it?
I'm gonna find it out right now.
God damn it! Made me look bad in front of all these people.
Tell me about
He got me
Chini.
back.
Tell me about Chini Bond. He's like the newest addition to the London Police.
We met Chini Bond in 2010. He became our assistant. We needed an extra pair of hands on the walls. Palakir. I said Palakir. It's on the fucking record. I said Palakir first.
What does that mean, Palakir?
Palakir is the capital of Micronesia.
Oh.
Okay, but do me some others. Someone set me up and you test me on some others.
What's the capital of Jordan?
Amman.
Oh.
Come on.
Malaysia's easy.
Kuala Lumpur.
East Timor.
Dili.
Oh, shit! What about, what?
That's the capital of Brunei.
Brunei?
What's the capital of... Oh, let me get Chini in here. I've got a song about
come on,
this.
Chini, make a little guest appearance.
You can sing into here.
I'll get close to your mic.
So this is Chini Bond. He's been working with us for 10 years. He's like part of the London Police, but not actually London Police. He's Chini Bond. He can't. He's already his own entity. He can't be anything more. But we made a song, and it goes like this. What's the capital of Brunei? It's Bandar Seri Begawan. Are there any dogs in Dubai? No, I don't see anyone. There you go.
Nice. I so wanted a fucking London Police song.
So
on
we
this
basically,
show.
what's this? Why is someone calling me here? I don't know what that is. So yeah, that's the longest capital in the world. The capital of Brunei is Bandar Seri Begawan.
Holy shit.
Yeah, exactly. And then there is the capital of Sri Lanka is Sri Jayanawada Kure Potte.
Holy
Kure
fuck
Potte, or
balls.
something. Potte Kure. It's a really long one.
So, you guys in general not only produce art, but also produce comedy. During COVID, you were doing this,
Shelf life,
news
Yeah,
show
we're doing the
or
shows.
something?
Yeah,
And
trying.
there's also a shitty parkour.
Shit parkour.
Like, tell me a little bit about just like bringing comedy into people's lives, other than just like, okay, I do a painting, but like, here's some vibes.
Yeah, big fan of comedy, making people laugh. Again, we go back to what we were talking about activism, political views. Okay, comedy. If you can make someone laugh, you've done a beautiful thing already. So again, we don't take ourselves too seriously as artists. We like to try and make silly Instagrams and make people laugh because, again, that's what it's about. You're entertainers, and I'm just big fans of comedy. If you think about people in my life like Bill Murray, Will Ferrell in America, Chevy Chase in the early days, like Bill Hicks, one of my favorite comedians. I think people like Louis C.K., I think Chris Rock, you know, Eddie Murphy back in the day, I absolutely adore. That ability to stand on stage and make people laugh, it's an opportunity, and it's a beautiful thing. So whilst we're not that good at it, we like to dabble in it.
I think you guys are great. I get a kick out of it because I love comedy.
Then I'm
And
happy
when
for
you
that.
guys were doing it, it brought a good feeling to my heart that I appreciated.
Because that was a time as well where we needed that as well.
We needed that
So
shit.
if someone
you know?
else wants to be political and put their views, and good for you, I'll listen and let's see how I feel, but I'd rather you make me laugh.
There's a need for everything. There's a need for like, hey, what's going on? And there's a need of like, you know what? Let's fucking just laugh it off because we're still alive and we can't just be crying all day long about the problems of the world.
Yeah, and let's face it, some people aren't funny. I don't know, but it's taste in humour as well, kind of thing. In England, we have a rich history of comedy. Like if you think about Monty Python,
Yeah.
I mean they were brilliant. And then going into we had lots of sitcoms in England. I won't be bothered to name them all, but going through the 70s and 80s, 90s, and then into things like The Office, which was a game changer as well.
Yeah.
One of our favourite comedians is a guy called Steve Coogan.
Okay.
He does a character called Alan Partridge.
Okay.
And he's been around for, 30 years, and like, he's so funny, and yeah, we love comedy. So if you love it,
Nice.
we try to emulate that too.
I'm Canadian, so comedy is very important.
Absolutely,
You know, we got so many greats there too.
You have indeed.
But thank you so much for your time, Chaz. I know
we
you
can
got
talk forever, couldn't we?
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
know you got a mural to get back to. But would you have some either final words or wisdom or song of beauty for us to depart our conversation?
Yeah, I guess wisdom. It's a lovely idea that you have wisdom. I wish I had it more.
I think you got lots of wisdom,
you-
man. You've imparted it through the whole conversation, from like your approach to the art career, to your observation of politics, where you don't want to take a side, but you want to be in the middle and, you know, not be divisive, to just like, hey, let's spread positivity and comedy and be a good vibe. And like, I might not be the biggest artist, but I'm not the smallest, and we just want to like exist and fucking be human.
Yeah, and like I said before, I mean, this. I know you can get called out on being neutral right now, like, you know, like, you should take a side, otherwise you're a bit weak. You know, I accept that might be other people's view, but like I said, I think you can. It's not so much that I don't want to take a side. I want to be sure that when I take a side, that I'm absolutely correct in my view. And the minute there's someone with a counter argument or a counter view, well, then I better hear that first before I'm so sure about mine. It doesn't mean they're going to have a correct view, or they might, you know. But that's what I'm saying. So,
Well, that's the problem with politics. Politics is like us against them, but like I don't want to be against anybody.
Yeah. I'm not trying to celebrate neutrality. I see there's some weakness in that sometimes too, but I'm trying to say that there's always a minute to listen to another opinion and keep flexible to your own opinions, so you can be open to different things. On an art level, I see that's not something I particularly would like to bestow wisdom upon to other people, because I'm still not there yet. I'm still learning and working on myself. But when it comes to the journey of art, what I'd always say to people is the barometer for success is if you like doing what you're doing. If you're lucky enough that you've found a moment in life where it happens to be something that everyone's into at the time, you get lucky. I always cite Nirvana. Nirvana was a band that just happened in the right time and the right place, and they went so big. Everyone needed it at the time. It worked. They didn't conjure that up to be famous. That was what they were doing. So sometimes if you're lucky and what you're doing gets you that ultimate success and fame, but you've got lucky. But you should never manipulate your evolution to suit anyone else's needs. Be happy with what you do. Go out every day trying to be the best person you can be. And then you are being an activist, in my opinion. Rather than me going on my Instagram and telling you what to think or what you should think or what I think, I go out and I try and be a good person every day, make people happy, which is all entwined in the artwork that we do and the love we give. And I'm doing my bit. It may be just a little bit, but if everyone did their bit every day, I swear we'd have a better world. And people like yourselves out there and many, many more who spread love and spread positivity. That's a good starting point.
Well, I respect you and I love you, and this is why, you know, I wanted to honor people like you and your community.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you that back. I'm going to gobble you off back. I'm going to give you a little noshing, a mental noshing back, because what you did during the pandemic is you kept a lot of. I forwarded your interviews to other people saying, listen to this guy, and it might calm you down a bit. Because there's some, you came out and you tried to keep positive in a time that wasn't. You tried to tentatively make a little sense of things when they weren't making much sense. And ultimately, you came out with your position and feeling about what you thought was going on, but with an openness and a flexibility to accept there are counter arguments and you know, to be open to other people's opinions. So thank you for what you did, and I'm more than honoured to be on the Chris Dyer podcast.
Yeah.
This is Chaz Barrisson from the London Police, and I always listen to the Chris Dyer podcast.
Thank you.
My brother.
Thank you so much, man.
Come in, bring it in. Come to the heart.
Thank you.
Come to the heart. Thank you so much.
And thank you guys for watching another episode of Chris Dyer.
Anyone who has managed to get through this whole thing, well done. Thank you.
No, I'm sure I stuck all the way to the end.
Are you going to edit it, or does it just goes the whole thing?
Paulina will edit it, but it's pretty much
you have
like,
to,
you know.
I was waffling on about nothing half the time.
No, I think it's good stuff. Yeah. Make sure to press like, and comment, and share,
comment, nice
and
comments,
subscribe.
Please. Now, if you're going to make nasty comments, make them about Chris Dyer.
Yeah, it's like
funny tattoos.
Did you see
all over
how
his head?
long it took him to put on his glasses? He was just like, oh God,
making me sit under a tree with fucking nuts falling down on my head the whole time.
And hitting your balls, dude.
For a minute, it was like there was birds in the tree and they were throwing nuts down on us.
I was like, oh my God, that hit his penis. That's gnarly. He's risking his life here.
Yeah, and trust me, that one hitting my penis, that was a shot in a million, wasn't it? Because
I think the nut was bigger than it, but like
the nut was bigger than the nut.
I'm just joking. Blessings.
Blessings in abundance. Blessings in abundance. Thank you to everyone, and love to all.
Next episode, Lindy Kehoe.
Numu is kind of like a Lemurian energy, but what is that? I don't know. But it's like kind of a crystal realm of heart-centered beings, and my work is a lot of synchronicity in the mythos, and I'm just oftentimes just open to, you know, they come out of the little drawings, and then I'm like, whoa, who are you? And they just start animating themselves, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna paint you.
So please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Big thanks, and see you next episode. Peace.